And what do you think is going on now? I'm sitting over here and actually trying to understand this Saudi king appends royal succession, names son as first heir. And if you read the article, what he done, he got rid of a guy that was, questionable. And he was in line to be the next, king. Kick him down the totem pole because he's anti-West. And remember, we're West, they're East, we're West. Okay. As you think about it, and I'm not quite sure if we talked about politics, but as you think about it, they're aligning themselves with us. No doubt about it. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Israel, even Iran bombed ISIS this week. Because remember, this week they had two, what would you call them? Terrorists in Iran that blew up a couple places. So Iran says, holy shit, what's going on here? How come they're attacking us? And they're paying for some of these guys. The truth of the matter is, they're all mercenaries. They'll kill, shoot, do anything they can for pilferage, for women, for whatever, trafficking humans, or whatever they want to do. This is a rogue army. There's no central command. Think about it. Get on your damn cell phone today. You talk to somebody in Ireland in 2 seconds. Anybody, any place in the world. And if you're in a fascist type of a group, or a group that's out there to kill, pillage, and whatever, because whatever you are, you gotta be some kind of a freaking maniac. I just can't believe that people do that shit. How the hell how can you strap a bomb to yourself and kill yourself? I'm telling you something. Doesn't that hurt? Okay. Let's put a little different spin on it, but that's crazy. If you had your scotch today, scotch. Scotch and water, scotch and soda, good stuff. And I'm always sure that you wonder why when I take a sip on a drink, I swoosh it around in my mouth. The truth of the matter is, I like the taste of the scotch. It's like, I don't know, I've been doing it for over 50, oh my God, 50 years, 60. I've been doing it for 60 years, over 60 years, drinking Scotch whiskey. Like, if I drink a glass of wine, it's a special occasion, or I'm doing a special meal or something. I don't do bourbon, don't do gin, don't drink beer, no way. I guess if you're going to be an alcoholic, at least be an alcoholic on something you'd like. And that's what I like. I didn't tell you, I had company tonight. I have a gentleman who lives upstairs over me I'm sitting on deck, and be on my right hand side. If I'm sitting here, it's right in front of me. But he's on the second floor. And apparently he had a young lady with him tonight, so I'm sitting on the deck. I got my guitar out there and I'm playing some music, and I'm just doing my thing, smoking a doobie, having a scotch. They come down, and his name is Michael, and he loves country music. I mean, this guy freaks out. He's about 55 years old, and good-looking guy, strong, doing very well. Had this gorgeous lady with him. You know, it's amazing how I don't remember names. Maybe it's because I don't want to. Whatever. So I sang a couple songs. We talked for a while. They really enjoyed themselves. And to tell you the truth, I enjoyed myself too. I love having somebody as a live audience when I pick up the guitar. It's totally different than me sitting here singing a song for you guys or whatever, because you know, it's totally different when I'm in the stage mood, as we call it. You put your whole heart and soul into it. You go crazy to make sure it's right. And when you finish, you're hoping someone says, man, that was great, or that was cool, that's, you know, whatever. I think that kind of feeling goes to everybody, whether they're an athlete or they're a musician or they're a scholar or whatever they do. If they can reach the pinnacle where somebody says, that is okay, you know. And the only thing that does is just drives you and makes you strive for the next time to make it just as good or better. That's the key. Always going forward, never going backwards. Always going forward. They got the boats. I can't believe it. You know, it's 1:30 in the morning, 42, and the boats are still coming in. Those boats come in all night long over there on that ramp. I love it. You know, I go out there and there's crazy people out there, but they're fishermen. These guys go out and actually probably fish for a living. But the whole issue is what they have to do is they bring their boat in. They got to go up, pick up their vehicle. Then they cost them someone like $20, $30 a day to park their vehicle. So with the trailer on it. So then when they come home at night, this time of night, you know, if their meter is blinking red, if they don't put no money in it, the camera takes a picture of their license plate. They're screwed. But those that have and those that work hard and can afford that kind of thing, I guess it's like anything you do. You know, there's always an expense of something you do. You know, if you work 20 miles away, the expenses, the car, the damn car insurance, the gasoline, the upkeep, the whole crap. So there's always a price. Unless you live in a loft over top of wherever you're working or something, or you're living in a closet someplace, which is not a bad idea if you think about it. Can you imagine if you could get away, getting out of college, you got your bachelor's degree, you're 21, 22 years old, you get a job in something you love, and this is funny, this is really funny, this is the way my brain thinks. You live on the premises in a closet or someplace in a cubbyhole, and you're making $53,000 a year, and you do it for the first year. You got $53,000, except for the food that you sneak, because what you're doing is not only living there, you're stealing everybody's food too. Nobody knows what's going on. So there you sit there, you got $53,000. Well, that's not a bad idea. So what do? You try it a second time. You do it for 5 years, already saved $250,000, $250,000. Is it worth living in the closet? Nah, I don't think so, but you can live in a closet and still have a life. Think about it. The only reason I brought that up was a comic strip that I seen, I bet you 50 years ago, that was doing that thing about the guy hiding in the thing and whatever. They came to be the owner of the whole damn town or something. I forget what it was all about. I can remember when comic books were 1 cent a piece. I can remember when it went to 2 cents, 3 cents, and then it went to, I don't know if they ever went to 5 cents a piece. I was never a comic book fan thing. I was a baseball card collector, and we used to flip. We used to have flip-offs with our cards, and I had grocery bags, literally grocery bags of baseball cards. In 1969, what I had left, I sold for $180,000. And in 1969, from about 1958, 59, I was collecting gold, eagles, half eagles, the whole parade. And back in the 60s, gold was gold, whatever it was. I didn't even remember what it was. I remember the day that I had to sell that collection. Had 84 employees. We're doing an aftermarket warranty on cars. And I had a bullpen. And I couldn't make payroll. So I went to Miami and I sold my gold. And at that time, I think I was getting something like $460 or $470 an ounce. Which was over 1,000% on my money to begin with, so I didn't give a shit. But I took that money, I blew it into the organization, and got a factoring company come in to help me out, make sure I make next payroll and everything else. And I eventually just sold the company and kept the accounts receivable. That was it. I just got out of it. It was just too much, too crazy, too nuts. I had a great cousin, to me, personally. His name was Joey Longwell. His father was killed in World War II. His mother was called Honey, believe it or not. He had an older brother called Leo. And Leo joined the Marines, became a deserter, ended up killing himself, but that's the other side of the story. The thing I want to tell you about is Joe. Joey Longwell looks just like, even better looking than, if you think he's good looking, is Tom Cruise. Joe's face was sculpted. Tom Cruise is not sculpted that much. and they're about the same size. Him and I, when we were kids, nobody in the family would associate with him or with his mother. So he was kind of the outside, but he was my first cousin, but he was the outside guy, you know. But I found him to be rough, and I found him to be, you know, dangerous. But I also found out that, you know, he had a love for things. And two things he loved to do. He loved to play guitar and sing. And if history recorded it, the truth of the matter is, he couldn't do it. But he tried. Never, ever gave up. And we used to play guitar together. And we had a friend of ours called Pat Redding, who could, this guy was so skinny, for God's sakes, if a breeze blew through the house, it would knock him down. But this guy was so talented. I mean, this guy could not only sing, he could yodel, he could play guitar, he could play fiddle, he could play, you know, any string instruments you want. Put him on a piano, this guy could play anything. Not a lesson. Never took a lesson in his life. So when Joey and I met him, I started hanging around with Pat Redding, and Joe, of course, got jealous and all the bullshit. You know how it goes, you know, whatever. And so I used to tell him, just, Joe, look at this guy can fucking play. This guy can teach us something. Come on up and let's do it. But he wouldn't do it. So Pat and I, this is gonna be 1950. Let me see, maybe 1955. Pat and I used to do a duet at a local bar room down by the railroad station. We're just kids, and we're playing for tips. And trust me, in those days, people didn't. They tip you a nickel, they take you a dime. Well, it was good money, whatever. But also the thing was, we could eat and drink free. So everything was cool. We were doing, you know, 3-hour shows or whatever. We're just kids, and you know, we're eating, we're drinking, we're happy, we're carrying on, and I'm doing all the good things until the owner's wife said, "Hey, you're giving the band too much. Let's cut the drinks out." I said, "Uh-oh." Because if we got $6 or $7 a night in tips, we got a lot of money. You know, that was a lot of money. You know, these days they're buying shots of whiskey for 50 cents. They're buying, you know, they're all boozer people, you know. This was no fucking place where you can walk in and you have a Manhattan or a martini or something. This was barroom bullshit. So of course we couldn't come to an amicable, is that the word I'm thinking about? Amicable solution to cutting off our booze. So we tried to get them to cut off the food and keep the booze, and they said no way. So we fucking left that place. Pat had a 1948 Indian. And I had a 1946 Indian. But my Indian, I had crash bars on that son of a bitch you don't know about, because I used to lay that bike down and the sparks used to fly. And these are big bikes in the day. And we left the place in Port Jarvis, New York. We played one night, and there was 3 other guys on bikes with us. And I was the lead bike, and next thing I know, I am in the middle. My bike is underwater. I'm above water, and all of a sudden people are around me. What happened? And the only thing I worried about was my fucking guitar. My guitar was on the back of the bike. But it had one of those canvas covers instead of the box covers they have today. It had a canvas cover. So the damn thing just floated. It never hurt that. So they got my bike out of the pond, so forth and so on. How I got through the barbed wire fence without getting hurt, I do not know to this day. And that's the last time that we decided that we're going to play there for just booze and no food. Because if you drink and drive with no food, you're looking for a problem. So which would have normally been a 25 or 30-minute ride home, we didn't get home till like 5 o'clock in the freaking morning. And I just happened to walk into my father as he was going to work. I'm going to tell you, the shit hit the fan. Trying to explain what the hell I'm doing, right? Oh, by the way, the guys got the bike out of the pond. They cleaned it up. Pat Redding turned around, cleaned all the plugs. They got it started. It was amazing. But like I say, you know, we're leaving the place at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now the sun's coming up, and we're finally getting home. And it's only a 25, 30-minute ride. So you know how long it took to clean up the bike. But while we're cleaning up the bike, we're enjoying ourselves. You know, what a good time. That was the year that I wrote, I think I was 14 or 15 years old, because we could drive at 14. Hell, I used to drive my father's Buick when I was 14 years old. Because we were a farm community. We weren't, you know, shit. I take a fucking, you know, 2500 DC diesel on the fucking highway tractor, you know, on the highway and hold up traffic for a week if I wanted to, you know. The law was the law. End of story. But us guys, all us guys, you know, 14, 15, 16, we all had a driver's license, you know. When I got off the farm and went to high school, you know, most of the guys in high school were what? Let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17. A lot of us graduated. I graduated at 16 because I skipped 8th grade, went right to 9th. Anyway, but you know, everybody in high school had a freaking car. And I'm a guy that lives out, you know, I live 20 miles outside of town on a big old farm out there, and I'm coming in on a freaking bus that smells like cow shit. I come in all these fucking cars up and down the block. Now the high school didn't have, I don't think, 270 freshmen to seniors. I don't think it was 200. I think my class was 260. Not my class. I'm talking about the whole school. So my classes were like 45, 50. But what a nice school. I'm telling you, what a nice school. And being a small community that was involved with, because there's, you know, I'm talking about the Farm Battle of New York up in the Catskill Mountains. So you would have, you know, like 15, 25 miles between each little town. And each little town had their high school, and every high school had their own football team, their own track team. So they used to have inter-county meets and everything else. And these schools were so small. Like I played football, and I had to play offense and defense. I never thought anything about it. that's the way it was. Enjoyed it. I had such a great time in high school. I can tell you things that I did in high school. I'm telling you the truth. If I was an adult, I'd be in jail. I'm talking about if I was an adult when I was in high school. Well, forget about it. But high school was the most adventurous time in my life. And I'll tell you something else. When I got out of high school, I went to work. I opened up a business. But when I opened up the business, I decided that that's not going to stop me. So they had a junior college. So I went to the junior college. I got a great reputation in 2 years for an artist. I was, I used to paint I used to love to paint, I did oils, I did acrylics, I was a landscape kind of guy. I used to love to paint. And I have a painting in Elmira, New York that hangs there today called The Swamp Scene. Someday I ought to tell you a story how this happened. This was a glorious, most unbelievable thing for a young guy like me. At my age, it was just overwhelming. By the way, my hearing aids just are beeping, so I'm gonna have to change things out here. I know you guys are all in bed anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. I'm talking to myself, so I'll talk to you later, okay? Love yous. Bye-bye.